Matthew Frazier, and my co-host name is Michael Corwin. Here on Game Guys, we interview CHS staff and students in order to learn more about themselves in and out of the school and play some games. Today, our guest is Coach Ed. He is a history teacher here at CHS and the football coach along with running the green team.
Yep. Welcome. Why am I saying welcome? That makes no sense. Glad to be here.
All right. You ready to get started? You obviously know the rules of Jenga, right?
I do.
All right.
Yeah.
It's full contact, right?
Yeah.
One
Okay.
hand.
What's that?
One hand.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
only use one hand, and we're not playing the rule where if you touch it, you have to
Roger
remove
that.
piece.
Okay.
All
Who
right.
starts?
Do you want to go first?
It's up to you. Is it me and you?
Yep.
You go first.
Thank you.
Oh, that seemed too easy right there.
There we go.
Whoa. What are you doing, man?
You have to stack.
You don't have to. Who said that's part of the rule? There's a strategy to this.
Come on, Mike. Gotta up your game.
Right. I'm playing chess. You're playing checkers. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, the toss. Saw that? Smooth.
Confident.
Smooth.
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
So, Coach A, how long
Yes.
have you been here at CHS?
This is now the start of my 19th year.
That's great. What was your favorite year?
Favorite year?
Yeah.
Every year is my favorite year.
You're a history teacher, but what are your past job experiences
Prior to teaching?
prior to teaching?
Oh gosh, that was I've been teaching now for close to 30 years. Through college, I bartended and waited tables. I did construction, built a lot of houses on the South Shore with my brother.
That's cool.
Yeah, a lot of odd jobs here or there. Back in the day when I was a little tyke, used to deliver papers back when that was a thing.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes. What other questions you got? Fire away.
So, obviously, a lot of students here participate in sports and extracurriculars. But what sports or extracurriculars have you played and participated in?
Throughout my youth, always played football, hockey, and baseball. Dabbled a little bit, but in the neighborhood with friends, it was always, whatever the game could have been. It could have been street hockey, it could have been wiffle ball, whatever the weather allowed for and whatever, the mood struck us for. Basketball, anything and everything. We were outside pretty much nonstop throughout my childhood.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm leaving that one. All right. I'm listening.
So, why are you so passionate about the green team?
It's, in my opinion, it is the most pressing problem that we have in society today, more so than any political or economic problem, because it's something that encompasses the entire world.
Yeah.
And I don't think enough people realize the gravity of the situation. They don't understand how quickly things are changing, and it's more accelerated than the scientists. It's happening faster than they predicted, and that's a problem because I've got kids about your age, and I want to see them be able to enjoy their life in a world that is not destroyed by generations that they had nothing to do with.
Yeah.
We need to try to right the wrongs of our past, and as a teacher, that's what I'm always trying to do, is find ways to help kids correct mistakes.
Yeah.
Now we have to correct a global mistake.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important.
I think so.
Now, back onto the football train. What other sports have you coached?
When I first came to Cohasset, it was just football, but then about 2 years in, the baseball coach at the time, Al Galata, he was a math teacher here, he retired, and I took over the baseball program. Coached that for 7 years, so I did 2 of those for several years. But then, at one point, at that point, my son had the two kids were at a certain age where it was impossible for my wife, who also teaches, to do the after-school stuff in the springtime and be in 2 places at one time.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't really why I came to Cohasset. Our original plan was that she and I were going to kind of split the duties and so forth.
Yeah.
And the spring is crazy chaotic with
Sports,
rainouts and
yeah.
rescheduling games.
Mhm.
You know, football's pretty straightforward. We have one game a week, but baseball had
Yeah.
2, 3, sometimes 4 games a week.
Wow.
And the schedule is just chaos.
It is, yeah.
So when
That kind of has to be like your only job.
exactly, you know,
Yeah.
and it wasn't fair to her, so we just
Mhm.
made the decision that I'd step down, and that was it. But when I was at Duxbury, I coached football, girls hockey, and baseball.
That Jenga tower's gotten a little bit tipsy.
That Jenga tower is rock solid. I don't know what you're looking at, Michael. It's all on how you look at it.
What made you want to be a teacher?
That's a great question. Like I've told my own kids and my students right now, it wasn't something that I envisioned when I was your age. I thought very liberally about it at one point,
Mm.
but I crossed off things from my list saying, I know I couldn't do this, I knew I couldn't do that, I crossed things off my list in large numbers before I realized something that, it fit my personality. Teaching fits my personality, it fits my interests, it allows the flexibility. It really is a lifestyle more than it is a career.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think that I'm going for the gold right now. Thought I had it,
Oh.
but I lost. That's all
Yeah,
right.
you lost.
We can do
All
round
right,
two.
We'll do
No.
round 2. We'll start out with a question.
Okay.
Waiting for this tower to get. All right. So round 2.
Round 2.
Coach A, as a history teacher and an American citizen, who's your favorite historical figure and why?
American historical figure or historical figure ever across the globe?
We'll do both.
Across time?
We'll do
All right.
both.
So favorite American historical figure? Oh gosh, that's a great question. I was always a huge fan of Ted Williams. And not just because of his baseball prowess, but because he also served in the military.
Yeah.
So this was a guy that, growing up, had a dream to play professional baseball, made that come to fruition. But then when it came time to serve in the military, he saw his duty and he did it.
Yeah.
And then came back and still hit 400 in the major
I know.
leagues after that.
That's
and
crazy.
just that kind of diversity in 2 different areas of, the military field as well as professional sports.
Mhm.
You don't see that often anymore, if at all.
Yeah.
So it was a real.
It's kind of a
he was
money
one of my
game now.
childhood heroes growing up.
Yeah.
From a world history perspective, I've always been a big fan of Leonardo da Vinci.
Mm.
Again, because of the diversity that he has, he didn't just focus in on one thing. He
Yeah.
was a drawer, an architect, an artist,
Engineer.
an engineer.
Inventor,
the guy did
yeah.
pretty much everything, and he did it really well.
Mhm.
And that kind of is something that I try to encourage with my own kids as well as students. It's like, you don't want to just focus in on one thing. You want to be as well-rounded as humanly possible.
Yeah. That's important.
Yeah. I think so.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, boy.
Mike.
Mike's abusing this thing. Look
Oh.
at that. And then the tap back. These rules are getting bent over, Ronan. I don't know, man.
Who's in your family? Do you have kids, pets?
My wife is Nicole. I have a 16-year-old daughter named Sophia, who's a junior at Marshfield High School. And our son, PJ, is an 8th grader, 13-year-old 8th grader at Marshfield Middle School. We have a yellow lab named Gracie, who is a good girl. She's just a good dog. She's a good family pet.
That's great.
Yeah. And I've got 3 older brothers. My parents are both deceased, but that side of the family, my 3 older brothers still live in the area, so we're pretty tight.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, all right, Coach A.
Yes, sir.
Who has been your toughest opponent in the past year or years for football?
In football,
Mhm.
toughest opponent. There's a lot. It's such
Yeah.
it's such a sport that is unique because if I had to pick one, it's probably going to be Mashpee. Because year in and year out, they're very competitive. They usually have a large large kids.
Yeah.
Somehow they
They
always
got
seem
they
to
got a
have.
big pot to pick from, right?
No, they're actually the same size as us.
Really?
But for some reason, the kids that they find are just massive. Like we played them this past week. They were 3 of them are over 290 pounds, and like our biggest kid is like 240, not even 220.
Wow.
So it's that kind of skill. It's not even a skill set. That's the division. You know, most of the
Yeah.
other schools that we're the same size with,
Mhm.
you know, it poses a certain problem. But size is something you can't really coach against. It's a physics thing.
Yeah.
You know, the bigger object is going to move the smaller object. So
Mhm.
that's always been
Yeah.
our big. I think
Got to work around it though.
you got to try to work around it, and that's
Mhm.
the key. You're absolutely right, Matt.
Yeah.
So that's what we try to have to deal with and try to do.
It's risky.
So
Oh jeez.
oh, dude.
All right. So next question.
Yes, sir.
What are the coolest places that you've traveled to?
Ooh, excellent. Out of college, I lived in Russia for 4 years.
4 years. Do you
And-
speak Russian?
It's my first language.
It's your first language. So
Yeah,
were both
like-
your parents Russian?
My dad was born in Ukraine, and my mom was born in Sicily.
Wow.
So Italian and Russian are my first.
Italian and
languages.
Russian. Can you speak Italian?
See. And so living there, I did a semester abroad when I was in college in Russia,
Mhm.
but it wasn't the same because I was in and out of there in like
Yeah.
3 months. But living there for 4 years and being able to travel, I was able to travel. I've hit almost every European country,
Really?
with the exception of Portugal
Mhm.
and like Greece. So I've been in so many of it. It's hard. I think it would be virtually impossible to try to narrow it down to one, but being in Venice, Italy, and seeing how it's built on a series of pylons and islands, it's pretty amazing to understand. They
Yeah.
did that like literally hundreds of years ago,
Yeah.
and it's still there.
Mhm.
And it'd be a shame to see our environmental impact, trying to tie that back in, now ruin that because it's all going to be underwater soon.
Oh
Yep.
gosh.
So,
Rising sea levels.
exactly. So, stop
Don't
shaking,
yeah.
man.
What are you doing?
What am I saying?
You just hit the thing. Your legs tapping. You're all over the place.
All right. So,
Uh-huh.
what is your favorite go-to? Like, what's your go-to restaurant, and what do you order there?
Go-to restaurant. We're not talking like fast food stuff, right?
I mean, if
If
that is
that's
your favorite restaurant,
No,
but
it's not. No, we always, at the end of the summertime, as we're getting ready to go back to school and right before football starts, we always have this family tradition of going to the North End.
okay,
And
cool.
there's one restaurant in particular, La Familia Giorgio,
Mm.
which is this really cool family style restaurant, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. The food's incredible.
What kind of food is it?
Italian.
Italian.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's getting pretty risky.
Yeah, but the trick is to take it from the middle, because then you have the sides.
No, but the trick is to take from the sides so that it lasts longer.
I mean, we could go on and on. Oh, okay.
Dude, you don't have to change. You can't.
I kind of do.
Why?
I don't know if
'Cause
that's
just
necessarily
I
in
don't,
the
I,
rule
I don't
book.
think it's legal.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have you second semester. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
All right, so obviously
Can't
you've
wait.
lived in Russia, the U.S., but has there been anywhere else that you've lived?
Yeah, I was in Italy for about 6 months,
That's cool.
and I lived in Poland for about 4 months as well.
Mhm.
And then I was able to backpack through Europe several times, which was outstanding. That was just because I could spend as long as I wanted to
Yeah.
in each of the countries, cities, wherever it is that I went to. So it was really being able to be abroad and take advantage of that was an outstanding experience that really helped form me into the person that I am today.
We're
That's
getting
cool.
really close here.
Yeah. So obviously you've played a lot of sports,
Mhm.
but on hockey, me and Mike are both hockey players.
Okay.
What position?
Dude!
Oh, There we go.
Tied up.
All right, that's it.
That's a
That's a wrap. Well, thank you for coming today, Coach
My
Ye.
pleasure, guys.
Good game.
It was great.
We hope
Nice
you had a
job,
great
Mike.
time.
Nice job. Appreciate it, guys. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tune in next time for more Game Guys.